Was it good? I mean,
We present to you a Rome Productions.
What is good, everybody? If you're a first time viewer of my content and of this video, like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Today, this is going to be a wonderful reaction and a review over YASUKE. Now, I promise I'm not going to spoil anything, alright? I promise. However, we're just going to go over just the dynamic of the whole show. Now, did I love the show? I would say that I liked the show. The show was decent and it was good. However, the reason why I'm rating this the way that I'm going to give you my rating is because I was kind of disappointed. Now, out of 10 stars, right, I would rate this as a 6. A 6 out of 10. That's what I would give this show. I would give this show a 6 out of 10 personally. If it was a 5-star, I would probably give it maybe a 2.5 out of 5. You know, and the reason why I would give this rating, the rating that I'm giving it to you, is because I expected more from this show. Like when it was advertised to me, and when we see the advertisement and you know, you look at it and you're excited. You're like, oh snap, we're going to see how YASUKE became the Black Samurai. We're going to really see how YASUKE became the Black Samurai. But then when you see the show, it's a man going through PTSD of what he went through when he was the samurai. We don't see how he became the samurai. We don't see his training. We don't see how he became the magnificent YASUKE. We see him in a kind of like a impoverished town, and his name is Yasan. People call him Yasan. He's not even YASUKE, he's Yasan. So you see this here, and I'm just over here like, why? Like, why did y'all go down this route? You know, in the way that it was advertised, it looked like that we was going to see how YASUKE became a servant to a samurai throughout the whole show, right? I thought this was going to be it. I thought the first episode was going to show him being a servant. Second, you know, doing his training. The third, you know, he's going through his challenges. And then near the end, he becomes the hero. That's not what this show is about. This show is about a man who was once YASUKE, had to leave from his dojo, whatever the case is, and went in hideout for 20 years. And now he has to save the day, but not really save the day in order for him to be the hero, because he's not even really the centerpiece of his own show. He's not even the centerpiece of his own show. The centerpiece of the show is the little girl, and if I can say her name right, I think her name is Nasumaru. And basically the little girl is the savior of the whole show. She's the spotlight, no pun intended. She is the spotlight of the show. And so basically YASUKE has to go out of his way to protect this girl, and the woman who was supposedly her mother was her guardian and looking over her, because she was going to send her to a dojo so that she could train to be who she was supposed to be. Now, there are a few issues that I have with this. Number one, like I said before, I expected more from this show. I wanted them to really bring out how YASUKE became a servant to a samurai. I didn't need to see him 20 years later going through PTSD, going through all this type of stuff. I didn't like that. They shouldn't have went down this type of route. If it wasn't just going to be about primarily YASUKE, then it should have been the adventures of YASUKE and such, or whatever the case is, right? It shouldn't have been the way that it, because when you advertise it as YASUKE, and throughout the whole trailer, it's about him saving the day, right? Him being the hero of his own story. You don't see that in this show. It's just him being the guardian, saving the day for somebody else. It's not about him. When you see Afro Samurai, the whole movie of Afro Samurai from beginning to end is about him and his backstory and who he is. It's not about him saving the day for somebody else. There's nobody else who's the centerpiece of the whole show. It's him. It's all about him and him gaining redemption for what he is supposed to be. When you're dealing with Yasuke, Yasuke is more so receiving redemption through somebody else, not him receiving his own redemption for himself. And I didn't like that. It didn't appeal to me this way. So I don't know if they're gonna have a season 2. I don't know what they're gonna try and bring to that forefront. I think this was just it. I think they just brought this out because they just wanted to make this just to make this. But this was just better off being a movie. You know what I'm saying? Even with the movie, you shouldn't name it Yasuke. You should name it something that appeals to what they were bringing to the forefront. So I don't feel like they should have made this into a show. But then again, I guess. But it just didn't appeal to me. Now, the second issue that I had with the show is that they kept emphasizing that he was black. I don't think that when you're dealing with the context of where he was, that they would just emphasize his skin to such an extent. I mean, that's just me personally. I don't know really the historical background behind how they really treated Yasuke on a historical context. But they just kept emphasizing, oh, he's a black samurai. He's black. He's black. He's not one of us. He's black. Like, I don't like that. Can we have a good story about Yasuke without putting in the whole civil rights vibe to it? Like, can we have a good show without emphasizing his race and who he is? You want to talk about his background to where he came from in West Africa? Fine, that's good. That's all fine and dandy. You want to talk about some of his tribal history? That's fine and dandy. That's everything that we could ever need for him and who he is. But when you just keep emphasizing in each episode, you're not one of us, you'll never be one of us, you're just a servant. Like, really emphasizing on the whole scenario of black people being servants to other people, I didn't like that. Why did you have to go down this route in order to emphasize his character and who he is? It doesn't, I don't like it. I don't feel like that you had to appeal to the audience of black people to go down this route. I just felt like they could have had a great show, could have had a great story, they could have told his story very well without all that. Oh, he's just a black samurai. He's just all this type of stuff. Not to mention the original samurais were black. So you know what I'm saying? They could have touched up on that. When you look at the gods of the people in the eastern area, they were dark. They were really dark. The gods, when you look at the Hindu, when you look at all the other type of gods and goddesses in Asia, throughout Asia, they were dark. They were black. They were like dark night, like blue black. And when you look at Yasuke, he resembles those guys. So I would have thought that they would have touched up on or played with the part of people worshiping him or seeing him as a god, seeing him as some type of demigod or whatever the case is. They could have touched up and played with that scenario rather than going with the scenario of, oh, he's just a servant. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like how they just played with the whole the civil rights vibe to it.
Why is he not clean?
He's black.
We can see that.
I thought you were the only black man in Japan.
Apparently not.
Are you two related?
Shut up, scrap metal.
Just didn't like that. They could have touched up on how maybe most of the town or most of the people saw him as a god. You know, somebody who was reincarnated coming back to save them from their iniquities. Whatever the case is, like, that's a good storyline. Nonetheless, that's my take on it. Like I said, I wasn't going to put any type of spoilers in this scenario or this reaction or review over the show. I do recommend that you watch it so that you can have your own personal opinions on the show. Or if you even watch the show, do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? Let that be known in the comment section below. But until next time, thank you for watching this video. Like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and share this video with other people. Until next time, oh, let me know some other type of anime or some other type of shows that you would like me to watch, and I could do some reaction videos or some reviews on it if you like this critical analysis that I did on this show. But until next time, and I am Neo.